Hello, Devrush Brat. Devrush. No, sorry, Devarsh. But hello. Yeah, 015.1 came out indeed. Indeed. Indeed, indeed. Okay, let's get to work. 015.2, probably never. It's going to be 016, the next one. And it's going to be more or less 6 months from now. Yeah, sorry, no more cinematic look. Okay, so a button element is said to be a submit button if any of the following are true. The type attribute is the submit button state, which is what we did here. The type attribute is in the auto state, meaning that it is not present. So it needs to be an optional. Well, there's a 015.2. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a 015. There is another patch release plan. I didn't know that. So, yeah, maybe they will have one. The type attribute is in the auto state. Yes. Both the command and command 4 content attributes are not present, and the parent node is not a select element. Okay. So type attribute is the auto state. That's if it's missing, I guess. Also invalid, but we don't care about invalid. So okay. Emmet support. Emmet is the short syntax for creating a bunch of HTML elements, right? You know what? Maybe there are cool ways of adding Emmet support. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would play with a language server. Maybe. Okay, so we need to check for command and command 4. Both missing, right? You know what? Let's put this explanation up top so that people can see this. And so if form IDX is greater than 0, and so if any of these guys has been defined, and type submit, actually, there's no point in doing this. This is okay. So, well, wait, because it's missing is false. Never mind, this can stay like this. So, and type submit, and type submit, or we need the other condition. Well, let's do it this way. The point is that I would like to avoid doing the expensive check if we don't have to. I want to basically put it in a path where we only do it if all the other stuff doesn't pan out. I can make ZLS work with NeoVim. Do you have any config or repo to get started? No, sorry, I don't, because I don't use NeoVim. But it's just an LSP that you have to configure like every other LSP. So there isn't anything special about it. Make sure that you have ZLS in path, and then, I don't know, copy the config for it that you have for another LSP already that you know works with NeoVim. There really isn't anything special about it. And in case you may be thinking, wait, isn't this NeoVim? No, it's not. I'm using Helix HX. So want a block, basically. There you go. That's how we do it. What is it? Type submit, right? Okay. So what's our block condition? Our block condition is, well, this bad boy here. Oh, right. Here we break with false if any of those is not true. So we're trying to check if this is a type submit. And the answer is, if there is command or command for, then it is not. And the parent node is not a select element. Okay, so this is the other, finally, the final check. The parent node is not a select element. So we have parent index in here, but we do have straight up parent index. Perfect. It's not even that expensive of a check now that I think about it, but fine. You know what? I'm even gonna do this at this point. So there you go. This is not, this form is submit. So have this, and so if not is submit. If it's not a submit and there are form indexes, then we do for 0 dot form idx, try errors dot append GPA, and then your message. Tag is going to be invalid after combination. And it's just straight up wants a reason. And we say, oh, and you know what? We can change the reason based on what's happening here. Oh, this is actually pretty good. What's your config for Zig on Helix? I don't really have one. The Helix doesn't have a lot of config that you have to do. So it's literally stock Helix. And then I have ZLS available in path. And so Helix picks it up automatically from my path. And that's it. I don't use this stuff, so literally there's nothing you have to do. So let's be fancy here and let's say if type submit I'm gonna use a multi-line thing. Let's do the rest first. Main application span node IDX is node IDX. Okay, so check this out. So if type submit is true, then it means in here it means that this is the other case is what's tripping us. While in here it's us having given it explicitly that value. And actually we could even get fancier and be more precise about this, but so far I think this level of precision is fine. So here's what we can say. If type submit is false, then we say well, actually, you know what? Let me think about it more a little bit. So if type submit is, let's do the other one first. If type submit is true, wait, what am I saying? I'm being dumb. Type submit false means that I think we have to say the same message actually, no matter what. I'm thinking about it more, and I think that yeah, there's nothing to gain by doing it multiple levels, but it should be something like this. Requires type attribute set to submit, or the element to not and also, you know what, at this point multi-line strings are not really what I'm looking for anymore. Or the element to not have command for defined, while not to not be the child of a select element, and to not have command for defined. requires type attribute set to submit, or for the element to not be the child of a select. I think we can do better than this, because so in a sense this gives you the full explanation, but boy is this like a giant mess. The problem is, if I tell you how to fix this, and I tell you you need to set yeah, there's no easy way to make it particularly nicer. So I guess we're just gonna leave it at that. You can do this also. Because yeah, really, okay, so your states could be this. You have defined one of these properties, and you didn't define type equals button. Yeah, there's too many combinations. More precise advice is not going to be helpful. This is not great, but alternatives are not great either. That, at least the ones that I came coming up with right now. So there you go. We have it implemented. We build. Okay, so this button is fine. Then we define form action to be banana. Oh wait, there's invalid attribute combination. Yeah, but why am I not getting suggestions for form action? Did I not define form action? Oh, I need to double check value. What's form action? Oh, it's a URL. Right. So let's do something else, like form and no validate. Okay, now it complains because... Well, I don't think this is complaining correctly, though. Oh, no, it is correct because we are defining command. Never mind. Yep, that was totally right. And then if we change body to be select, now it complains about this. Invalid attribute combination requires type submit or the button element, or for the button element to not be the child of a select and to not have command 4 defined. Okay. But if we go back to body, we're good. And what if we do type equals reset? Oh. Is this correct? Oh, this has to be right. So I do need the Boolean to make the Boolean optional because I need 3 states. If this is set to something that isn't that value, then it is a problem. Okay. Actually, this might have an impact in how we are able to report this error message then, because that does change things a little bit. So it's type submit being set to true, or type submit to be null, and this block. Look at this delicious thing. So either we have it and it's false, and it's true, and if it's missing, then we default to false. We're getting a little bit too clever, I think, with these expressions, but I'm fine. It's fine. I'm gonna leave it as is. Could this be a or else? Like everything else in the or else? Let me think. If is submit is type submit or else? No, because if it's false, then we don't want to. If it's false, we need to move forward because of this or. Yeah, I think this is it. And you know what? With this, I think we now have more information to be better at reporting the error. So we can let's make an attempt to report this error in a nice way. So let's do it like this. Let's say this. If type submit so if TS is so if it is present and it is false, we break BLK with require incompatible with type set to reset or button. Like we just literally say this. Then if it is present and it is true, then that's not possible. We wouldn't be here. Because if it is present and it is true, then we're happy. So we don't care about that combination. It's kind of making me think that we can simplify this expression because of that. And then alternatively, so So if we are having an error, and this is not the case, so this has not been set, then we're having an error because maybe command and command for are defined, or maybe because we are the child of a select. So let's look at those cases individually, I guess. So if command for and actually we can do them one by one, basically. And then I guess we can do the last check. Something like this. It has to be one of those, basically. Let's see what happens. Is BLK a label for the block lambda? Is that a word name convention? No, like you can name it whatever you want, and yes, it's a label that you can break to. So that allows you to return values from blocks. You can also give labels to like while loops, for loops, to break from to an outer loop layer. There we go. Invalid attribute combination, incompatible with type set to reset or button. Okay. So we change this, we take it out, make this a select. Invalid attribute combination, incompatible with button being nested under a select when type is not submit. So this is telling you, well, what if type is submit? Then now it's okay, which is correct. Well, I mean, this other part of the HTML is wrong, but that's fine. So this is okay. Then what else? Back to being a body. Everybody's happy. But oh no, now there's a command. Incompatible with command when type is not submit. I should say attribute. Or we could also do this. We could use angle brackets, square brackets for attributes, and double quotes for attribute values, or single quotes. I think I want to introduce this convention. Now let's go with the positive. We type set to. Yeah, I think this is going to be my notation for these things. Diamond brackets for elements, square brackets for attributes, single quotes for values. That seems reasonable. I'm going to need to update a bunch of errors. Like here, for example. Okay. Let's see how it looks. Incompatible with command when type is not submit. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I think we have completed button. We need to only to take a look at value just to make sure that it is buttons name. Yeah, let's take a look at value. Oh, it can be omitted. Okay, so never mind. I already did everything correctly. It's time to submit button. Done. Done. Before we continue, let's do a review of everything before it to introduce the new naming convention for like the new notation for these things. So I'm gonna start in here because there are places where we do this. Yeah, percentage of tab index. And we don't, by using this notation, we don't have to say attribute explicitly anymore, which I think it's nice. Okay, attribute has some attribute validation logic where we can put our nice error messages. Let's see. Oh, I put course list in here. Interesting. Duplicate entry cannot be empty. Invalid URL. Missing slash. So here we're doing meme parsing. That's a different thing. Custom validating code in here. Okay, so we go in element and we scan them one by one. Go to A. Hey, look. Missing href. Abbreviation, nothing. Address, nothing. Area. Does it have reasons? I need to look also at the reasons. Not allowed when shape is default. should contain at least 6 numbers when shape is poly. Oh my god, what am I doing? There you go. Okay. Let's look at A. It has reasons somewhere. Presence of href. Yeah, I remembered. I remember correctly they had reasons. Article, aside. How do video? Oh, this guy is complex. Since it's plural, I'm gonna leave the word elements in there. Uh, okay. Hello, X2. Okay, so we're improving this stuff a bunch. Not bad. And button we already did. Okay, so we got it. So next would be canvas. Let's go make some progress. Is canvas below button by any chance? No. Canvas element. Oh shit. Flow, phrasing embedded, fine. Transparent, but with no interactive content descendants, except for a EMG elements with useMap attributes, button, input, whose type attribute are in the checkbox or radio states. Input elements that are buttons and select elements with a multiple attribute or a display size greater than 1. Why are they like this? Why are they like this? Except for A elements, EMG elements with useMap attributes, button elements, input elements whose type attribute are in the checkbox or radio button states. Input elements that are buttons. And select elements with a multiple attribute or a display size greater than 1. It's fallback content. Okay, so what you can put inside is the fallback content, but I'm actually very surprised that it has all these limitations. So if you put stuff in, if you can put stuff inside that is the fallback, why can't you just say, yeah, you can put EMG buttons and inputs and selects? Why does it have to be this specific? Why are these spec people so evil? I don't get it. There might be some. I'm guessing the reason for these descriptions, the restrictions, are because of logic that has to happen at runtime. So by restricting, like, the more they restrict what you can put in there, the easier it is for the runtime implementation to deal with it, I'm guessing. So there must be some of that going on. Still, though, well, let's get to work. I think I'm gonna copy button because we're gonna have to do some work here. Actually, let's do it like this. Flow phrasing embedded. By the way, we're tracking embedded, but I don't think we've seen something that only accepts embedded. Something to think about. We might be able to reclaim this bit. So content model transparent. I think we have a definition for this. Still mentor. Is this using 0.15.1? I guess so. Or close enough. I'm still at, so there you go. Zig up. Oh. It's giving me not found. Why? Well, I'm close enough though. It's not a tagged commit, but I'm close enough. Oops. Also, I shouldn't have closed that tab. Close enough, close enough. Content reject. Interactive. We don't have extra reject. Attributes apparently don't need to be anything special because so attributes can be static, but we will need custom content validation. Boy, that is for sure. Oh, also wait a second. Let me go to button. We have to get rid of our temp definition in here, this bad boy. Yeah, goodbye temp. You're not needed anymore. Thank you for your service. Okay. We can remove it also from here because in any case, we're going to have only a couple of these guys. So I'm going to keep a couple simple ones or like even just one that is not too complicated so that we can use it as a template. It's going to be width and height. Maybe. I don't remember. Okay, so these are the attributes. Canvas. Then, yeah, then we're going to need to validate. No, validate actors is not necessary. This guy can go away. We will need to validate content though. And I guess provide completions. And we're not going to need these guys for sure. Okay. Oof. This is going to be an adventure. Let's see what MDN has to say about Canvas. mods opaque. Alpha false. Huh. So we have the description. Descriptions for width and height. It defaults to 150 and the other one defaults to 300. I had no idea. Okay, what is the rule for these guys? Wait, we don't have like integer? I've already implemented width and height. How did I already have width and height like for images. Why weren't those oh, not non-neg int, so that's what it is. And I'm guessing these other guys are also non-negative integers, aren't they? Valid non-negative integers. Perfect. So okay. I thought I was going insane. Okay, so this is done as well. Well, now we have to validate all the insane rules for its descendants. Now, I'm honestly tempted to simplify this a little bit. Except for EMG use map button input. So if we were to simplify this a little bit, we would be able to get to just use the simplified model checking. We wouldn't need to write any custom code because we could literally say that we in allowed children we do EMG button input select but we would be slightly less precise if we were to implement this all start to finish. So here's the problem. So we would need to see if EMG has a use map attribute. We will have to see. We will have to take a look at the input, and then parse their type attribute. That are buttons. Apparently, there's a way for an input to be a button. I don't know how. Is that not a type thing? Why is that? Wait, how does that even work? Oh my lord. So that is also, by the way, ahead of us. Input type button, but yeah, but then why is this fucking spec not listing it next to these two guys? Why are they separating it in a? This spec is so weird. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a executive decision, and no, we're not going to implement this manually for now. We're going to comment this out. For when the time comes. And we're instead going to do this. We're going to do simple validation. And simple says that we can have this stuff. Okay, so oh, wait a second. This guy doesn't have extra children. This guy has extra descendants. This guy has extra descendants. Insane. I guess we add extra descendants at this point. Huh. The problem is this concept of, you know what, I think that this concept of having descendants, like allowing descendants, is actually unsound because it doesn't play well with the other things. I suspect this is like an old verbiage that they haven't updated. Yeah, I'm not sure that you can really do this the way they want, or if this works, it's just because of like very specific reasons that these guys can be combined. Actually, maybe this is the why behind some of these restrictions. Hmm. Like, for example, A cannot have A element descendants, but this guy says that he can have A element descendants, but so that means that they cannot still be nested one into another. EMG is void, so I guess we're fine. Button is void, right? So no, button is not void. Button accepts phrasing content. So oh my fucking god. But it's not transparent. So yeah, I think that what they're saying here with descendants is actually um children, not descendants. Yeah. Extra children, so it's these guys. Do we force this to be a set or do we keep it a list? I think we can keep it a list. It's still a small number of entries. Which means that we can also do this. Okay, so simplified, but this should be it. Oops. Has to restart. And then in here we want to put canvas element. In here, no interactive content we said, so no audio. I don't remember if audio is interactive if you give it controls. Is it not? Yeah, it becomes interactive because of the presence of controls. Okay, I think that something is not kicking in as it should. So let's debug this a little bit. Oh, did I also, let me think, did I also wire in canvas correctly everywhere? I think I should have, right? But it does have content reject interactive. So we should be rejecting this because of content reject. Let's take a look at the algorithm for this. So if it's a simple model, check the extra children, check the forbidden children, and then model rejects. And model reject is based on parent span, if parent node check if the content model of the parent was changed because of it's transparent. Right, but so this is in the case that it does not overlap. So if the parent model and the child model don't overlap, then that's that. If the parent element content reject overlaps the categories, the runtime model of the descendant, then we complain. Is this is this like an off by one thing where uh, adding something afterwards is what does the trick? No. Something before? No. Why are we fine with audio in here? That makes no sense. Do I need to set controls to something? This attribute cannot have a value. Okay. So I would expect this to kick in. I would expect this to kick in, but it does not for some reason. Let's turn on this printing so we can see what it is. Scope is element. Model rejects body div, div audio, div. Oh, I didn't save element. God damn it. That was the problem all along. I hadn't wired in the new implementation of canvas. There we go. Invalid nesting under canvas, invalid nesting under canvas, invalid nesting under canvas, presence of controls. Take it out, and now audio is fine because it's not interactive anymore. There we go. A works. Button works. A can say under button, but what if it has an href? Now it can't be nested on the button, which is correct, but it can still be nested under canvas. Okay. Yeah, we have it. Now attributes, canvas. Have that. Done. 31. We have taken a tiny shortcut. I'll admit it, but I think it's fine, at least for now. If somebody complains in the future, we can make it. We can improve it later. Caption, the bar for quality is still very high. Caption element. Category is known. Context in which this element can be used as the first element child of a table element. Flow content but no descendant table elements. Tag omission, we don't care. No special attributes. Let's see, the caption element represents the title of the table that is its parent, and it has a parent. If it has a parent, that is the table element. The caption element takes part in the table model. When the table element is the only content in a figure element other than fig caption, the caption element should be omitted in favor of the fig caption. Of course. A caption can introduce a context for a table. Well, I guess this is because they had caption for tables before they had fig captions for figures. And so it's a new thing. So they're saying this, but I don't think I'm not going to make this an error. Yeah. So I don't know. This is just a silly element. Let's implement it. This is going to be like extremely trivial to make. Caption. Categories, none. Content model, flow content. Categories, superset, still just flow. Content reject. We don't have a specific content reject, but we do have forbidden descendants. So we forbid table. That's literally it. A captions element and tag can be omitted if the caption element is not immediately followed by ASCII white space or a comment. Bro, like, look at this crap that we thankfully don't have to implement. Blah. Okay. I mean, that's literally it. It has no attributes, and we just need to make a description for it, and we're good. It almost feels like cheating. It almost feels disappointing when an element is not insane. It doesn't have like insane rules when you crack it open. Almost disappointing. Well, attribute empty set 32. Not bad. Site. Flow phrasing, no attributes. A person's name is not the title of a work. A citation, not a quote. Okay. Okay, flow phrasing. Content is phrasing. Attributes static. Content model. Literally just what the model says. Nothing more, nothing less. Grab a definition. There you go. Oh, right. There you go. 33. Almost feels like cheating, man. Almost feels like cheating. Code. Flow phrasing. Phrasing. That man, this one is also gonna be free. Holy shit. Flow phrasing. Once phrasing. Just a description. Let's go, man. Before, let's just check that we build. Call. Categories known, content model, nothing. Is a child of a call group element that doesn't have a span attribute. So the reason why we're not implementing those is because we're going to implement them the other way around. We're going to implement them when we increment, like when we implement call group, it says, so here as a child of call group, so here we'll say content model. If the span attribute is present, nothing. If the span attribute is absent, 0 or more call or template elements. So this is where we will implement this. Same with table. Table, you see content model in this order. Optionally, a caption element. So this is where we're going to check the position of that the caption element is going to be correct. In any case, we'll get there when we get there. So call element, categories known, content model nothing, and span attribute. Let's see, if a call element has a parent that is a call group element that itself has a parent that is a table element, then the call represents one of the columns of the column group represented by call group. Yeah. The element may have a span content attribute specified whose value must be a valid non-negative integer greater than 0 and less than or equal to 1,000. Interesting limitation. So you cannot have a table with more than 1,000 cells. Well, no, that's not what it says. What it says is that you can't have a column group span more, like a thing span more than 1,000 columns, I guess. Okay. Well, this is going to be fun because we're going to need some custom validation there. Or we complicate the concept of non-negative integer, like the standard one. We'll see. I think a custom one is going to be good in this case. Give me a sec. I'm going to take a quick break, make myself some tea, and then we continue. Just a few minutes. I'll be right back. Hello, fellow HTML enjoyers. I'm back. Where are we at the body? We're call. Okay. So while I wait for the T to cool down a little bit, let's do some call. Actually, you know what? We can... Now we're going to redo this from scratch no matter what. Okay. Call. Category is none. Content model, nothing. Perfect. There you go. It has span. So we're going to need to define a attribute which we can grab from Canvas. Will give us a definition to steal. Span. We're going to need a description for it and then this validation. And we need docs. Oops. Okay. So this is okay. For span, so model is not going to be this, but it's going to be custom. We do validate span. Now this guy has a signature. Okay. So we grab the... So we have the attribute. So it has to be present. I think we can steal basically the implementation from non-negative integer. You can literally steal this. Put it here. So it has to have a value. Grab the slice. Needs to parse as a number. If the number is negative, integer must be non-negative. I think this can become a if else if num greater than 1,000. 1,000 is the upper limit, right? Wait, its default value is 1. It does not say that it must be lower than 1,000, but here the spec says that it must be lower than 1,000. How much do you want to bet that nobody gives a fuck about the 1,000 upper limit? And that's like a horrible artifact of this disgusting spec. In any case, since we're here clowning, let's clown to the end. Valid attribute integer must be lower than 1,000. Wait, so what is less than or equal? Must be lower than or equal to. So we can do this. Must be. We will get this lower than or equal to 1,000. Ah, I think they will. Well, this is it. This bad boy is implemented. So go to attribute, call. So these are its attributes. This is it here. 35. Okay, call group. Okay, let's see what's in a call group. Category is none. Content model, it's complicated. So it's basically none. It's basically this for call group with these um with these special rules. And it has span as an attribute. Oh, this one also has span. Oh, also, you know what I just realized? Wait, I think I didn't give span a description in here, did I? Yeah. We need to grab the description from here. Wait, it cannot be 0? Which I guess makes sense. Greater than 0. Okay, so now we can really go to call group. And you know what? I would do it like this then. Because I don't think we're gonna need it. We're gonna need to change anything. So yeah. Do we still have the limit in here according to the spec? This is call, but what about call group? Yeah. Okay, so their validation is okay. Okay, now we need to have our custom content validation. Okay. Actually, maybe we can copy those from Canvas. Okay, so let's see, validating content. Let's take a look at here. So if the span attribute is present, so this all hinges on the span attribute. Although, you know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, this is validating for content, not for attributes. So we need to check if it has the span attribute. So this should not be a problem. Just a quick iteration over that, and var, actually even no, const as span var it is const parent equals nodes parent index parent dot start tag iterator source HTML. Okay, and we do while it.next. This gives us attributes, and we do if const name is author.name.slice source, if std.ascii dot equal ignore case name with span. So if it does have span, break through. Else, oh, we can even do this. There you go. So this is a span. So if we have span, then attribute is present, nothing. Otherwise, so basically we need to iterate over all children. Child idx is parent dot first child idx, while child idx is different than 0. const child is nodes at child idx. Defer child idx equals child dot first child idx, and then we do if child dot, if it's not an element, we say nothing. We don't care. Like if it's a comment, basically, we don't care. Actually, no, because is element is gonna give us false. Also it's not dot kind. It's gonna give us false also for text. So text is not fine. I think that basically it's just comment that we're fine with. Right? Yeah, dot comment. So if it's comment, then continue. Otherwise, if has span or different than call and template. I think this condition is not correct. Let me think about it more. 0 or more call and template. So call and template are fine. So if it has, so we are deciding to complain, and we want to complain if it has a span, yes, or child.kind is different than call, and child.kind is different than template. I think this is correct. Basically, if child.kind is, I don't know, div, then yes, we want to complain. So try errors.append GPA tag is invalid nesting. Let's see. Span is, well, we need parent span. Parent span reason. I think we want a reason. So if has span, we say when span is defined, no children are allowed. We're missing an else. So if it doesn't have a span, then only call and template children are allowed. That's a pretty good explanation. Main location is going to be child of span. Child IDX. This is it. This is it. We're doing good validation now. Now we need to decide what to do with completions now. So It's basically two options, right? We need to do this again. We need to see if it has span. We don't care about the parent span at this point. And you see on nodes. And so if has span, return empty list. Else return a list that contains two completions. I don't remember what's in a completion. Label and description, right? That's it. That's quite literally it. Element is good. So we need a description. And then we're going to test it. Hey, Giacomo, thank you for the raid. Hello, everybody. You're all right on time to see me demo the implementation of another HTML element. By the way, for people who have already been raided into this stream, we're making progress. 35 out of 115 elements. We're getting there. So, yeah, have a nice day. So, yeah, it has a lot of elements. Check this out. Let's see if this works. Doesn't that slice you're returning in the completion sleeve on the stack? It does not, because this is a fully comp time known constant value. So this gets interned by the compiler. So it doesn't live on the stack, it lives in the static memory. It's kind of like, you know, when you do this, when you return like a string literal, you can do that because this gets copied into the read-only data part of your executable, and the same happens to also things that aren't strings, as long as they are completely comp time known, which is why this works also, for example. I mean, well, this one is more complicated, but yeah, that's why it works. Yeah. That's why I have these, you know, critical comp time keywords in there. Okay, we built. So we're trying to demo now call group. The problem is that we don't have table. So right now we're going to try to put call group where it doesn't belong, which I think is going to make some things unhappy. But I think it should still allow us to test other stuff. I might be wrong, though. We'll see. We might need to get a accomplice element that will accept it no matter what. Oh, well, the problem is, so since it's not allowed in here. I don't even get it in my auto completion, which is correct. So invalid nesting under body, but can we do better? Yeah, invalid nesting under call group. only call and template children are allowed. Okay. Call. Void elements have no end tag, correct? But what if I have a span attribute of 1001? Integer must be equal or lower than 1000. Okay, so only 100. And now it says it's still invalid nesting under body. That's correct. And then it says invalid nesting under call group. When span is defined, no children are allowed. There you go. Let me double check that this rule that I'm interpreting this rule correctly. But yeah, there you go. We have it all. And also, this works with auto-completion. Auto-completion doesn't suggest anything. But if we take out span, auto-completion suggests call and template. Not bad. Okay, we have it all. So we can really mark it as done. I think I already did in here. Yeah, so chuck it on the pile of done elements. 36, sorry, out of 115. Whew. I deserve some tea. Man, look at this painful list. We have to fill it out all the way to the end. And then at some point I need to also decide what to do with these guys. But that's a story for another time. So, what's data? Data links a given piece of content with a machine-readable translation. If the content is time or date related, the time element must be used. Oh, delightful. So data is completely useless and worthless, and nobody cares about this. Nobody uses this. This is like part of the, I don't know, completely meaningless semantic web stuff. Awesome. But okay, but it does seem very tame. So it probably accepts, I'm guessing that it accepts phrasing content. It has a value attribute that accepts anything, and I guess that's kind of it. Now watch the spec shatter my dreams with the most insane set of limitations. Flow phrasing accepts phrasing. Value attribute. The value attribute must be present. So we need to make it an error if you don't specify value. And that's it. Sortable JS. Ah, man. So naive. Whoever came up with this example is so fucking naive. Because they thought that, you could use this as your sorting key by giving it a numeric value. The problem is that every single thing will be multiple things all at once. So like giving it a dedicated value thing, I don't know, it does pretty much fucking nothing. You'll still need, like, there is no point in trying to create this special casing for, I don't know, things that are useful. Yeah, there we go. Look, also. The element can also, however, be used in conjunction with scripts in the page for when a script has a literal value to store alongside a human readable value. In such cases, the format to be used depends only on the needs of the script. The data-attributes can also be useful in such situations. Yeah, you wouldn't say. So, I don't know. Another useless artifact of the past. I'm gonna use call, I think. Maybe not even that code. You know what? I'm gonna use code, I think, for data. Flow phrasing accepts phrasing, as we were saying. We need to make value. So I'm gonna use, I'm gonna copy this from call. Name value. Rule is not empty. I'm gonna need a description for it. Okay. So we're 99% done. The only thing that's missing is that this. So since we have no concept of required attributes, we'll need to basically implement this on our own end. Um, we've seen a few required attributes, but usually they tend to come with more restrictions. So this is one of the few cases where a required attribute doesn't have any other extra stipulation around it. So um, I guess my point is that I could add like required equals true, but it's kind of uncommon. Usually there's extra logic anyway, so might as well do the more complicated thing. So there we go. So var has value equals false. Then while vit try vait dot next GPA source utter considering they only have one value, we can even do it like this. If attributes dot get utter there you go. So we have this, and then at the end of everything, if not has value, try errors dot append GPA tag missing required after equals value. Main location is going to be it.name node index node index. There you go. So with this, we have the required validation. Save element, see if we get build errors. There we go. We did incompatible types, attribute and void. Where? Oh, you're right, because it's or else this and then continue. There you go. Implicitly returns. Right. We need to return the model. Return data.model. That's it. There you go. Missing required attributes value. Perfect. Okay. So data is done. So data is also done here. Now it's just value as the first option. Perfect. Okay. So this is done. 57. There we go. Maybe we can do another one. Go to 38. Data list. Oh, this one also is going to be cool. I can already tell. Limited availability. Firefox doesn't have it. This feature is not baseline because it does not work with some of the most widely used browsers. Yeah, you guys, you motherfuckers, why are you not implementing it? This is going to be such a critical piece of infrastructure. I'm joking. This stuff is ass. It's fine if they don't have it. So delightful data list. Not mentioned in here. Okay. Flow phrasing, content model, either phrasing content, period, or 0 or more option and script supporting elements. Because option is not phrasing. This fucking element, man. At least it doesn't have attributes. Constraint validation. If an element has a data list element ancestor, it is barred from constraint validation. Huh. Okay, we can implement this. I mean, at this point, there's literally nothing that they can throw at us that we can't implement. It's just going to be annoying to do. Well, we already know that we can give it the empty set. Also, did we forget to give empty set to anybody up here? No. Okay, we were very diligent. Good job. So go here. Thing is, we're not going to need this validate because we don't have any attribute to validate. So this is going to be static, but the content is going to be custom. So this is going to be fun. Okay, let's see. Data list. It's flow and phrasing. And content model is either phrasing content or just option and script supporting. So the fact that it is like this, it means that we basically have to set it as none. I don't think we can set it as phrasing. Or you know what? No, we need to set it as phrasing so that it can be inherited by A when the time comes. So let's set it as phrasing. Yes. But yeah, we need these custom validation functions. Okay. Where did we implement this last? What was the element call group? So let's copy this. Oops. Okay. Dabbing tag. Hi. Hi. Also, did we, what was the last one? Data. Did we do everything correctly with data here? Yes, we did. Okay, so also in data list, before we jump into this, wait, how did I do it in the other case? Oh God. Boy, was there enough ton of logic, huh? Yeah, okay, so here in data list, we need to fix this part here first. There you go. Okay, so this is fine now. Let's grab the description. Okay. So data list. Basically, it's going to be like this: var state enum I don't know, like searching, phrasing, or option. And we started searching. And then I guess we can put it like this. Then there is no has span. We look at the first child, grab the child. If the child is not comment, continue. Well, if the child is, I think we should do this. Switch child.kind. Comment. I think the script and template don't tell us anything because script and template are also phrasing content. We can double check that. But I think that script is in here and template is in here. So if we see script and template, which are script supporting elements, we still don't know. And they're allowed anyway. So I guess we skip them. So comment, script, template. We continue. Otherwise, we proceed. Okay. Then we switch state. If we're searching and we need a label in here. So if we're searching, I think we need a label. Actually, I'm not sure. But the idea is if we are searching and we see option, text is phrasing, right? Yes. So text also is allowed. So if it's searching. Actually, I don't think we need this label. So if we see option, then state equals dot option. If we are in phrasing, we need to do the normal phrasing validation. We'll look into it in a moment. If it's option, then we need to say if child.kind is different than option, then we complain. And the reason why we do this is because we skip script and template above. So they're allowed, but we never get to them in here. Tag is invalid nesting. Okay. Invalid nesting, but it's going to be errors. When option child is present, only option script and template are allowed. Okay, now we need to do the phrasing. The phrasing, I guess we can do it ourselves. We can do it like this. If child dot model dot categories dot phrasing. Well, if it's not true, so if not, then we do this. With one caveat though. We do want to have a special message in case that that you put option in here, because I think it makes things clearer for who's for the user. So if child.kind is dot option, then we have a special one. Only allowed when so you have some elements and then you have an option, and then I want to tell you, no, this is wrong, but it could be true, it could be correct if you just removed everything else, basically. Unallowed when the only children are option script and template or template. Okay. And this is kind of like else if. There you go. We have it. Well, except that in the case of phrasing, there's no there's no reason provided. That's it. So hey, proper bug. Yes, another day enjoying the grind. Boy, do I love HTML. Okay, so now we have to implement the completions case. So how do we provide completions to people now based on this? Look at this. This is also going to be delightful. So here's how it works. We still need to do this because we still need to know what's going on. Then we do this. We basically, what we care about the most right now is getting state to where we want it. Children is already you're right, thank you. Okay, so we want this to we want to move forward state, but we don't want to report error, so we're gonna have to change some things. So we see something that is an option, we move to option. We see something that is, if we are in option, actually, you know what? This is more than this. It's basically kind of this. Okay, at some point Z will oblige, but basically we want to do this. If child is option, we break option. else break phrasing. Oh, that's your recommended stream for title for for the next stream. Yeah. So okay, here's some nuance. We could conclude that we are looking at phrasing in any other case, but you know what? Let's do that only if the element that we're looking at is phrasing. If the element is not phrasing, then we will just consider it an error, and that's it. So we do this and we basically ignore it. Else, if child category is phrasing, then break phrasing. Else we just don't break. That's it. This should be this. Remove some of this stuff. Let's see how we're doing with curlies. Const state this guy equals this guy. This switch closes itself. This if is good. This closes the while. Why do you want a semicolon? That is correct because of this. Okay, so perfect. So this gives us state. Also, this indentation is really funky. How about this one? Also, there is the other case, right? So we're missing else. Else dot searching. And now we switch state. So if we are searching, we want to recommend phrasing content plus option because we don't know. So either could be fine. And so here's how it works. I have this already implemented, thankfully. Return element dot simple completions. Arena prefix is going to be option. Parent content. This is what we accept, which is just phrasing. So actually, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to use this one, which is a better choice. So data list dot model dot content. Then parent reject. Do we reject anything? And the answer is none. No, we don't reject. We don't have anything against anybody. And then simple, and there's nothing specific for us to put in there. Okay, so this is searching. Then we are in the option case. In the option case, we want to return basically a hard-coded list. And it's going to be label is going to be option element dot get dot option dot desk script. No, this is desk. There you go. So this is the option case, and then there's phrasing case where we return this but without option. There you go. Oh, this is element dot all dot get. There we go. There you have it. In all cases, you know what? Let's extract the return keyword. And a semicolon here. There you go. So with this, we should have handled everything. We don't care about this. We're not doing anything clever with offset. We're not using source. Yeah, we're not. Okay, I guess it's time to take this bad boy for a test drive. So attribute data list, is it empty? So we gave it empty already. Element, it's saved, it's in here. Okay, we can build. LSP restart. This is now data list. Okay, what was interesting about data list? Right, what's inside of it, right? So what can we put in here? Option, and then everything that is phrasing. For example, what is something that is flow but not phrasing that we have implemented? I don't remember. Some of what we implemented is flow but not phrasing. Maybe Canvas? No. EMG? No, it is there. I don't remember, but I think we are. You know what? I just do want to double check this though. Base is metadata. So base is one thing that we could try to check for. Yeah, there is no base. There's just B, which is correct. Let's see something that is flow but not phrasing. This guy is flow and phrasing. Oh, article might be flow but not phrasing. Yeah, look at this. Article is flow but not phrasing. Okay. There's no article. Perfect. And we have option up top, so that's perfect. So we put option. And then we can only put option, script, and template. Not bad. We don't put option. We put A. And now we don't get option anymore. Oh, fuck. We do get option in here. Why do we get option? Oh, because I haven't implemented it yet. The reason why we see option is because I haven't modeled it yet. So it has a temporary thing that allows it to be anywhere. So, okay, this is still correct. Delightful. We have correctly implemented data list. Despite everything, we have implemented data list correctly. 38. Whew. Okay. The DDL details. The DDL details. The DDL details. Categories none. DD after the T or DD elements inside the L elements. Jesus Christ. That's too many errors. You mean in here when I show stuff? As in like errors reported by the LSP? I mean, those are good. So ADD's element and tag can be omitted. Well, we don't care. Flow content. So flow content, categories none. Flow content after DT or DD elements instead of DL elements. After DT or DD elements instead of div elements that are children of a DL element. Jesus. So again, these are super annoying, but for now we don't care about them because we're going to care about them once we implement DL and div. the L and div are the ones that will have this logic inside of them. And I mean, we're close. We're gonna get to those soon, but not today. Oh, well, there are 115 elements. It's kind of like the first generation of Pokemon, more or less. So where's Div? Look at this bad boy. It's down here. It's waiting for us. It's waiting in the shadows. So man, and there's also the LNDT. So we're getting there. But for now, DD is an inert element because by itself it doesn't have any specific rule for when it comes to itself. It's just where you put it. But the way we are modeling things, these constraints are not something that we attach to DD. These constraints are attached to the parent element that checks its contents. So as far as we're concerned, DD is a element that doesn't belong to any category, accepts flow content, and doesn't have any special attribute. And that's it. So long story short, it's basically a free element. So let's go implement. You know what? I think we can do these two, maybe these three. And I think maybe we can call it a day. It's good progress for a day. We started at 30. We're like at 40 almost. We're going to be past 40 once we do this. So, okay. DD is going to be inert. I'm going to copy maybe code. Yeah, let's copy code. Okay, this needs to be done. Let's see. Categories known, content flow. Attribute static content model description. There we go. That's it. Like that's literally it. We have implemented DD because everything else is already done. 39. Del. I think that we can copy these. Oh, but it does have attributes. Oh man, this bad boy is gonna have sight and daytime. Okay. So let's go do this. Okay, I'm guessing Del is phrasing. Attributes common to ints and del elements. Interesting. Oh, I guess because they have the same, right? Sight and daytime. Maybe we could make them the same. Let's see, ins is flow phrasing and transparent. All right, flow phrasing transparent. You know what? We might as well implement them as one single thingy. Yeah. So this becomes ins del. Perfect. And we do it like this. So this is ints. Model is del.model. Meta is del.meta. So basically everything is inherited by del except the descriptions and the tag name. Okay. So now we need to do the attributes. Site and datetime. I guess we can go to call and copy attributes from call. So site and datetime. How do you manage the build file for all these files you create? What do you mean? I don't have a. You're doing too much, Odin, I think. There is the files that you import, they don't have to be named directly by your build script. Basically, in my build script, I define that I have a I have a module root file, and then this guy imports other files. And as long as those files are, like, let's say roughly speaking, in the same directory or like the same subtree, then they can just import each other, and that's it. They're all part of the same module, and you just import them. So in Element, you see that I do this, right? I have to import them, and yeah, it's a bit verbose. But this is not the build script. This is me. This is me creating an array keyed by enums. So this is it's an array where you use enums as indices, which is like you can think of it as it's just a normal array. It's just a little bit more type safe because you can use enums. So I can say, give me the attributes for example, or give me the element definition for a or audio or bass. But this is going to be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc. And yeah, so all I do is just list them in here, and that's it. So what were these attributes? I already forgot. Site and date time. Okay, we're gonna need also to add like validation rules for those. Let's first complete the descriptions though. This is del, not ins. So put it here. Build files hate me. But I would assume things not to be particularly different with Odin. I don't really do Odin, but um, I would imagine that also in there you have some kind of concept where files that are roughly speaking in the same set of directories can just import one another, and that's it. File management in this project is mostly straightforward, almost entirely straightforward. So really hasn't been a big concern in my case. Dealing with all the weird rules that the HTML spec wants you to implement, oof, that is definitely more annoying. Let's read the descriptions. This second one particularly seems a little bit too long. This attribute defines the URI of a resource that explains the change, such as a link to meeting minutes or a ticket in a troubleshooting system. Oh, well, guess what? We know what that is. Non-empty URL. I mean, to double check this, let's go to the spec and let's see what the spec has to say. Maybe used to specify the URL of the document that explains the change when the document is long, for instance, minutes, blah, blah, blah. I encourage you to include a fragment pointing to specific. Must be a valid URL potentially surrounded by spaces. Oh, it does not say not empty. Wait, why did it send me there? God damn it. So it is also this is not empty, but what is the other case? Empty. I guess empty is allowed. I don't know. Hey, with the Git repo? Yeah. So right now I'm doing most of these changes in a branch called nesting errors, I believe. So all these element specific files are not in the main branch yet. I'm gonna have to finish them before I merge everything into main. But it's mostly there. Let's see. In the case of time changed must be valid with an optional time string. If the value cannot be parsed as a date with an optional time string, the element does not have an associated timestamp for the format of the string without a time. See. Okay. Guess what? Datetime is date formats validation time. Man. I knew that this day end time would come. I knew it. I knew it. This might be the stopping point of this stream, because this is gonna be its own tiny adventure in its own right. Validate string with optional time. Oof. So Gregorian date. I think, I'm not sure 100%, but I think that we might be able to cheat by leveraging Zeit. I think that Zeit might have the parsing for us already done. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But so yeah, this is the next thing that we're gonna have to implement. So to do, this is the to do. Let's go into element. Let's wire also this guy is not done. Let's wire in ins. Let's go to attribute. So here we need also to set up del in ins. Oh, also dd is temp. Okay, so this is empty. There we go. So with this, we have wired everything. The payoff is that if we complete these two bad boys, both del and int, that's going to be 2 for the price of 1. We need to implement that stupid attribute validation, and then it's going to be 2 for the price of 1. Also, there might be other things that accept date times. So we might be interested in placing that implementation in a place where other things can do that. Unfortunately, Zite does not have a bare time type. Their time is actually a timestamp with a date. But to be honest, you know what? The question for me is more than this. The question is, what does it accept as a parsing? Does it parse correctly what we need to parse? And then, if the resulting time also has a date in it, and, you wouldn't want to have a date to use that value, that's fine. But in my case, it's not important because we literally just concern ourselves with parsing, not at all with the semantics. So, you know what? That's what I think. We'll see. We'll see. It might. What I just said might not be true as we go forward. So, I guess we'll see. In any case, 39 out of 115, I would say not bad. We did make some good progress. The reason why we haven't made even more progress is because a couple of the things that we went through today did have some logic that we had to implement, but still, we started at 30, and things are going pretty well. So, yeah, we started at 30. So, with this, I think I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow for some more delightful HTML adventures. I might also make some progress tonight on my own. We'll see. But we're getting there. Holy shit, are we getting there? So, thank you all for hanging out. And yeah, let me see. Ethernet cable is streaming Zig. Maybe they have Zig in the tag in the tags, but are they actually doing Zig? Let's see. I see stuff happening, but I don't see Zig code. It's hard to tell. You know what though? Let's rate anyway. It's not like I have any other better suggestion anyway. So yeah, we're getting to div. Div is gonna be delightful. Go say hi to Ethernet cable. And yeah, have a nice day.